Thanks for tuning in to another video, and for today I want to talk to you about the new software update that Google just added 2 new gesture features to the watch, which are very similar to the Samsung gestures, which I love, and it makes the watch much more hands-free. So let me show you those, and then I'm also going to show you the original gesture that's already in the watch, which is a little controversial, or there's a little confusion on it. So stay tuned to the end and I'll go over that quickly. But first, let's talk about the 2 new gestures that were added. One of them is the double pinch, which again, Samsung had for a while, and it works very similar on the Google Watch, but I'll show you that. And then the other one is the wrist twist, I guess you can call it, where you can dismiss alerts and alarms and things like that. So let me show you how these work. So I got a 10-second timer on there, and once I click on this, it's going to give you a little icon or a little reminder to let you know that this function or this application is compatible with the double pinch gesture. So then you know, in case you forget some of these things, you'll remember it in the future, and then you know that you can use the double pinch on this feature. But let's go ahead and just do this, and this is the icon right down here. So it just gives you that double pinch to let you know what's happening. And if I do the double pinch, I'll stop the timer, and then I can start it again. And then when it goes off, I could just double pinch it to dismiss the timer. So there you go. And it works the same way on the stopwatch. Let me show you that. So let me show you on the stopwatch, and you'll see that icon pop up again right over here, just to let you know. And again, I go ahead and start it, and then I can go ahead and stop it. Real easy to do. Nice feature. What else can it do? Let me show you. I got a phone call coming in here, and you can answer it with doing the double pinch. So there it is, and it even gives you the little icon again. I just double pinch, and now I could be talking. So that's a really nice feature, especially because you're usually using the watch phone when you are, let me just end this here. And that's a great feature because usually when I'm using the phone on my watch, it's not because I love the way it sounds or, I love holding it to my mouth. It's basically just because my phone is in my bag, or, my hands are not free, or I'm rushing to get somewhere and I just need to answer a call quickly and just tell them something. So this works really nice for that. Now, if you have a Pixel phone, you can control the camera shutter on the watch with the double pinch gesture, but not on other Android phones as of now. But there is one more thing you can do. Another thing you can do is if you get a really long text, you could see the text, but then you could scroll through it by doing the double pinch, which is really great. So let me show you how that works. Here's a text coming in here, hopefully. There we go. And now it even gives you a little reminder, and it gives you a little scroll wheel to show you what's available. And of course, I could swipe this up or use the scroll wheel to get through it. But my hands aren't free. I just want to see what's going on here real quick, or I just want to see a phone number at the end, whatever. Here we go. I just double pinch, and then I'm scrolling through it. So that's kind of cool, right? I think that's a real neat feature that is definitely awesome to have on the Google Pixel Watch here. And then you got this, and then you can pick and reply back and do whatever you want. So I just wanted to show you this again because I got a text here, and you can see what's going on there. If I just double pinch, I go through it all, and you can see this is a long one I just kind of wrote out. But then if I keep going, it's going to go back up to the top, so that if I miss something or I just want to see it again, and I was just doing the double pinch to scroll through all that. Let me just show you the wrist twist now and what that can do. Okay, so the second gesture is the wrist twist, and I got the software update, maybe a week or 2 ago or so, and it wasn't working very well, and I thought they were going to maybe just improve it, but it hasn't improved yet, but hopefully it will soon. So let me go into the settings and show you the feature and what it's supposed to do. Let's go into settings here, and we got to hit gestures, and then you can see here hand gestures. That's what we're going to click. And you got the double pinch and the wrist turn. You got to turn those both on. And then if you go to hand gestures, it shows you what it is, and gives you a kind of a trial, and you learn how to do it basically. So try the hand gestures. Well, I'll just do it now here quick. So you just tap your fingers, and then it says you did a good job, right? And then this is going to tell you what the double pinch can do. And this actually worked perfectly, so that's great. But then let's go to the next. Now the wrist twist, basically just twist your wrist in and out, and let's go ahead and do it. So I did it right, so I know how to do it, in case you thought that was the issue. And again, this is for silencing calls and alarms and things like that. But honestly, it hasn't worked on anything I've checked. Timers, alarms, phone calls. It doesn't silence any of them as of now. So that hopefully is just a quick software update. So hopefully that's something that could be done. But we're going to move on here, and then we're done. So I would show you the wrist twist and what it can do, but like I said, it doesn't work for me right now. But again, I'm assuming that's going to be fixed very quickly, and again, hopefully that feature will work for you. The feature I use this for most on the Samsung watches is to dismiss a call. So if I have a phone call coming in and my watch is not on vibrate, it's beeping and making all sorts of noise, and I'm in a meeting or I'm doing something or my hands are not free, and you just go like this and it just silences the call, which is really nice. But let me just show you here the third gesture. Oh, and then this is just the reminders. So when I showed you, you get that little icon on there to show you that the feature or the app or whatever you're using is compatible with the double pinch. You get that on there, and if you don't want to see that gesture all the time, if you mastered the watch and you know all the features that are available, then you don't need it to always go on. You could do it less frequently if you want, or you could just do it the once and then it will disappear. So that's kind of up to you. Let me show you the third gesture in case you're not aware of it, but this gesture has been available on the watch since its release. So let me just get into that here. Okay, so let me get into settings and show you that. From the beginning, we're going to go here, we're going to go into gestures, and then we have raise to talk. So let's click on that, and obviously toggle it on and off. And I usually toggle it off because I don't really like it, and I'll tell you why in a minute, because it is a little too sensitive. Now, I have it all the way turned up here just because I just toggled it on, but you could toggle it all the way down, and it still will go off too frequently. And I'll just show you that in a second. And then the voice sensitivity. And then you get the indicator, which will give you a little light down here just to show you that it is acknowledging and it's listening to what you're saying and getting ready to answer you. And then we could do the education, which we're not going to do. So I'm going to try to do this behind the screen. So if my watch is like this, and I just kind of raise it up to my mouth, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so since I did first review this watch, which I counted this as a con actually because it went off too frequently, but it looks like they made it a little less sensitive. Okay, so let me see if I can get this to work here. There we go. We got the little icon that tells me it's listening to me. Who won the Super Bowl last year? And there you go. So the assistant obviously works as good as the Google Assistant does, and you have Gemini on here. And the only issue is, like I said, it goes off too frequently. So sometimes if you're just having a conversation with someone and you move your wrist, it start listening to you, and that's not so bad, but then it starts answering you while you're talking to somebody, and again, it's not the greatest thing, especially if you're talking with your boss or something like that. So even on the lowest setting, it still was too sensitive for me. So they might change that in the future, but as of now, again, it's a little too sensitive to me. So I showed you a way you can shut that off if you don't like that. Now, the confusing thing is that this feature was only supposed to be available if you have your Google Watch connected to a Pixel phone. But I have a Samsung Watch, I have a Samsung Fold 6 here, and it works just fine. And from the very beginning, it's worked fine. And even with the software update where they added the gestures, they didn't take away the raise to talk gesture. So it's still there. I don't know if it works on every phone out there, but it looks like it does work a lot more widespread than Google says. And even if you go to their Pixel website, it does say it's an exclusive feature just for Pixel phones. So that might change in the future, but this has been out for a while. And like I said, I've been using it. It's been on my watch since the very beginning, and it's still there now. So hopefully it stays there. So those are the three gestures that are available. Like I said, the double pinch works perfect. The raise to talk, I just told you about the issues with that. And the wrist twist, it doesn't seem to work very well as of now, but hopefully that's going to get fixed in a little bit. But those are the new gestures that are available, and then hopefully some of those will be useful for you. And they hopefully maybe even get a little more useful as time goes on and they do add a little more stuff with them. But that's it for now. So if this video was helpful at all, please consider subscribing. My channel reviews smartwatches mostly, but I also do a lot of gadgets and other tech stuff. And I also will try to give you more software updates if they're significant. So subscribe, turn on the notifications, and stay tuned, and hopefully I'll give you some more updates on the products that you have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.